Welcome back, everybody. I'm gonna do like I had said and do a quick update, since the one I tried to do the other day I screwed it up. So anyways, I will do a quick update now. I'm out, as you can see, in the garden. So things are starting to pick up in here. You can see the tomatoes are ripening. Those are starting to turn yellow. This one's more yellow. Those are really good tomatoes too. If you ever get a chance to try the yellow pear tomatoes, they're well worth it. They're very sweet tasting. Here I got some Burgundy Okra that's popping up along here. You can tell, see, sometimes the weeds look the same. That kind of looks the same as that, but that is a weed of some kind. That's the Burgundy Okra, and you can tell by the red stem and the red veins in the leaves. And there's another okra, and there's some more in there. And I put them in the middle. I'll be interplanting some stuff along the way. I want to get some ground cherries and grow, and I have some tomatillos that I'm going to grow. Nothing in here right now. I'll be putting some, like I said, I'll just be putting stuff all along here. As you can see, the poles are back because I have black beans planted in here. So we'll see how those do. They did really well last year. So hopefully they will do it again. And actually I planted some that I had grown last year, and basically all you do is when they grow, you can harvest black beans young and eat them kind of like a green bean, but the well-known way to do it is to just let them sit on the vine until it completely dries, and then you harvest it, because you know a lot of times you eat black beans as a dry bean, so or you prepare them as a dry bean. That's how you buy them in the store. So, but yeah, you just basically let the vine die pretty much, and then you harvest the beans off of it, and they're already dried and ready to go. So that's what I planted, were ones that I had grown last year, and let them dry. This guy I'm going to have to take out, I think, because I mean, it looks okay at the top, but I think the frost got to it too much. I'm actually about to harvest this, which I think is so pretty. It's a nice bluish green as opposed to everything else. It's a nice contrast out here. But the pumpkins are still going over there. In total, we have 14 that I've harvested, and there are probably 3 or 4 that are still on the vine over there. So I think there's 4 still over there. So if they ripen, then we're going to have 18 total, which is awesome. And the chives are starting to grow back, and they actually look healthier than the original ones I planted. Of course, they're dying back, but these coming in are thicker and hardier, and they just look better than the original ones I planted. So, and the longevity spinach is doing well. It continues to grow. I think we protected it well enough from the frost. A couple of those chayote vines I think are going to be okay. I just need to build a trellis for them so they're actually not going all over the place. But and then Tuesday and yesterday I came out and planted a couple trees. So over here, Tuesday, I planted the Mamey Tree, and that's just dead pumpkin vine that I just kind of wrapped around somewhat like a mulch. But there will be more added to that as the weeds grow. So, and then over here, this is the tangerine. And you can see it's got blossoms all over it. It started doing that in the pot again, so there's actually a small tangerine growing right there. And we actually got one tangerine off of it so far, and it was really small. It was good, but it was very small. And here's the sugar cane. I was worried about it because something bit the tops off of it, but it's growing back. Sugar cane is a type of grass, so it's a little bit different than if something bites the top off. There's another one right there. Something bites the top off of, you know, any other plant. Mango's doing well. I think it's about to put on some more leaves right there. It comes out of the middle a lot of times. This is the Florida avocado. It's doing really well. It has grown all those new, basically from like right there up, all of a sudden it just shot up, and so it's doing really well. The moringa trees, this one here is putting on new growth. The one in the back is putting on new growth. I keep checking this acerola. It's not blooming yet. I think it's still a little bit early. I really hope that we get some pollinators back in here, because it bloomed so many times last year, but nothing pollinated it, so we didn't get any cherries. And if we would have gotten some pollinators, we would have had a bunch of cherries. I'm trying to see, because there have been a lot of ladybugs hanging out on this tree lately. Which, if you watched my video on Tuesday, that I posted on Tuesday, that's a very, very, very good thing. This loquat here is growing like a weed. All those light green leaves are new leaves. And I didn't cover it. I wrapped the base of it with a blanket whenever it would get cold and freeze, when we had our freezes. And it seemed to do well. It seemed to protect it well enough, because it's growing like crazy. And same with this one. The Jamaican cherry took a bit of a hit, as you can see by some of the dead leaves, but it's putting on new growth in places, and actually it's starting to bloom again, so I think it's going to be okay. There's a bloom right there along with a spider, and I think it's going to be okay. The Haas avocado is doing all right. It always looks worse than the Florida avocado. There's a bird over there. I don't know. It's too small to see because it's a little itty bitty one. But the banana trees I thought were toast, but they've actually been putting new leaves out. So hey, I guess they're gonna keep going. Now, what I'm the most excited about right now is the ever-bearing mulberry. It has burst back into life, quite literally, and it is absolutely covered with blooms. See all those little weird fuzzy looking things? Those are blooms, and they'll turn red, which I'll show you right around here after I walk through a spider web. And another one. Sorry, I've got spider web all over my face. But I'll show you here. Those right there are starting to turn red, and that's what they'll do. Then they'll be red for a while, and they'll turn black. And once they turn black, you can pick them. But I mean, there are hundreds of blooms on this tree. So I'm hoping, because this is about its second year, I'm hoping that this is going to be the future of this tree from now on. That it's finally established enough that it's just going to keep putting out tons of berries. So lemongrass is doing all right. And here's that other moringa. It dropped all of its branches, but before it did that, it started putting on little baby ones up here, so it can still photosynthesize, and it's not going to die back, and I won't have to cut it back to the root like I did last year. So yeah, it's about all that's going on. I thought this pomegranate was dead, but there you go. All those little leaves coming out are brand new. So I don't know how long it's going to take for it to produce, but it's not dead. Everything else is doing pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and harvest these kale, and I'm just going to cut them. You can pull the leaves off, but I'm going to go ahead and cut them because I'm not going to do anything else with them. So I just come down here. That's pretty tough down there. Maybe come up here. It's not the easiest to do one-handed, but there we go. It's a good bunch of kale right there. And let me get this one. This one didn't grow as big. Something is running in the bushes back there. This one didn't grow as big, but it still looks pretty good. So there we go. And that's also, I wasn't really planning on it. I just threw some in there. I forgot to, amend the soil at all. So, those two kale grew and after the fact, because I put some, once they were growing, I put some fertilizer down, but I hadn't amended the soil whatsoever. So the fact that they even grew is pretty impressive. So, and I had thrown a bunch of them in here, and I went through and thinned, and those were the only two that really even got established. So yeah, I mean, good couple bunches of kale. So we will probably bake those into chips, put a little salt and vinegar on them. That's really good. This poor guy here, he just can't win for losing, so I think it's going to be time to say goodbye to him, because I don't think he's doing very well after the frosts. I gotta find the actual root down here. Hopefully pretty soon I wish I could I need to try to find something that I can either attach the camera to my body or some way to record myself. Maybe I'll get a drone and go all high tech, but I'll just go throw this guy in the compost bin. He actually looks like it's popping up a new one down there, so I'll leave that and let that one have some more light now, and maybe it'll grow and get nice and healthy. But so that you can actually see what I'm doing. But just look how bent that wire is. That's what happens when you have a big old raccoon that gets in your compost every single night. Looks like the fig is about to come back into being. That's strange. Usually it's later than that, but and we got some blooms on the Pakistani. We have one that was ripening right there, but I don't know if it's ripening or if it's just kind of, because it was on there before the frosts hit, so it may just kind of be sitting there. But yeah, I'll leave this little guy here, kind of an offshoot, and let's see what it's gonna do. But like I was saying, I would like to have a way to record where you can actually see me and I can work and not work with one hand like I'm doing right now, just cutting some of these weeds back, because it's not easy to work with one hand. But right now it is what it is. I got to work with what I have, and I do appreciate the people who have started following me now. But yeah, so that's something that I want to do. I actually have been trying to figure out starting a website or a blog or something of some kind, like a WordPress blog type thing, so that even if I don't post video updates, I can get on and put blogs up. And because what I would like to do is start consulting. I would love to consult and help people get gardens going. I think a lot of people are intimidated by gardening, and they don't need to be. It's not that scary. And I would love to help people get over that fear. So I would love to do some consulting work and some construction, like garden construction. Like, okay, if you want a raised bed, whatever size, a 5x5 raised bed, I will build it and set it up for you. So I've been working through the logistics of that, but I have to do everything little by little because I have a regular job, and so but I'm in the works of doing that. I've been talking with some people, talking with some other gardeners who have done the same or similar, but in different areas than mine. So I appreciate the support that I've got now, and things are going to continue to grow. But yeah, that's about it for what's going on now. At this point, I've got some seeds that I bought from a buddy of mine, runs a seed website called agoristacres.com. I will put that in the description. And I that's where I bought the tomatillos from and stuff like that. So I'm going to be planting some of those, and I may end up planting some more okra. We'll see. I want to get some ground cherries because those are really, really good if you've never had them. And then I don't know if I'm going to plant any more pumpkin right now. I might put some yard long beans in because I've got the black beans here, as I said. But I mean, I'm going to be interspersing, like in between these, I'll be putting just whatever. Maybe growing some more pear tomatoes. I might try to grow some, I'd love to grow some little cucumbers, like little pickling cucumbers. I've got those Mexican sour gherkins or they're also called cucamelons, that I could try again and actually put some effort into it, and make pickles from those, because those they're so small you could just toss them in a jar and pickle them and not have to worry about cutting them. And I'm going to be building trellises for various things, starting with the chayote squash. But yeah, so I've got a bunch of things planned. I just have to take it little by little and put it into action. So I appreciate everybody watching. That's going to be it for today. And I will be back soon with another update. And I'll show you some of the things that I plan on putting in. Really quick before I sign off, I'll show you actually have some horseradish. That horseradish that I planted, and I took a video of me planting it, is starting to come up. One of them is starting to come up. Both of them didn't, at least not yet, but one of them is coming up right here. There you go. There's some horseradish. So hopefully, because that's over there, hopefully the one I planted over here will start to come up. But if not, at least I've got some, and I can always order some more. But another thing I plan to do is all in here, like you got the snake plant over there, some ginger to the left, but all back in there I want to clear out. I'm going to put all that aloe that I've got, I'm going to plant in there. I might plant the comfrey that I have in there since it needs just partial sunlight. I'm interested to see what this does this year, this passion vine, because it is growing very well, and I don't know if it'll be old enough to produce fruit or not, but we'll find out. And it survived the frost with no problem, partly because it's right underneath that oak tree, so it gets some protection. But yeah, and it's funny to me because I cut down these cassava, and then here you go, it's growing back. I don't know if it'll get as big as it did, but eventually I'll be harvesting that, because all underneath there will be cassava, so I'll be harvesting that, and we'll be doing stuff with that. Over here and back by that big cherry laurel and over by the garden, I had the you can see that vine that's kind of wrapped around the pole there going up. That was the yam, and it died back, which they normally do, but I'm hoping that both of them will pop back up again, because this time when they pop up and then die back, it will be time to harvest them because they'll be nice and big. And so we'll keep some to eat, and then I'll set some aside to plant. Or if it if it puts out bulbils this time, I'll plant those. But anyways, that is going to be it for today. Those trees over there I'm going to have to plant too. But that's going to be it for today. I appreciate everybody watching. Please like and comment and subscribe, and help me to grow the channel. And until next time, I will talk to you all later.